Hello Wolfpack, welcome back to my channel. Now this time I'm going to be doing something a little different. I know a lot of you are from my Has-Been Hotel reactions, but there's another thing that I'm very passionate about, and that's professional wrestling. However, I am against WWE. I am anti-WWE. I don't like WWE, so I refuse to watch. But everyone covers WWE. Everyone talks about them, and no one talks about TNA iMPACT Wrestling. Now, there's been a lot of ups and downs for TNA. Lately, they've been getting a good resurgence. Ever since Scott D'Amore took over the company, TNA has been putting out good quality wrestling, but no one talks about it. So here I am, going to talk about my favorite wrestling promotion, TNA Wrestling. I'm going to be doing something that's very familiar, ups and downs. I'm going to be reviewing the latest episode of TNA iMPACT, and we're going to be talking about it, giving those ups and giving those downs. Before we go any further, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all the stuff that YouTube wants you to do. And now, let's get into it. We actually start the show off strong with Nick Nemeth versus Trey Miguel. There were a lot of cheers for Nick Nemeth and TNA chants for Trey Miguel, which is pretty good. You get the former WWE guy in, he gets cheered because we know him, we like him, but the TNA original gets TNA chants. So that's awesome. Rascal's partner Wentz gets ejected from the mat, and in the end, Nick Nemeth picks up the victory. This is getting an up because it was a crowd-pleasing match. Everyone liked it. Then after that, we get the post-match beatdown from Steve Maclin, and actually partners up with the Rascals with a double super kick to take out Nick Nemeth. Now that's a partnership I straight up did not see coming. I'm also giving that an up because it's getting good heat from everyone. Afterwards, we get a backstage segment between Khan and Diener. Diener's trying to hype up the design, but Khan interrupts and says the design is dead. I'm giving this a thumbs down. The design has been part of TNA Wrestling for a couple of years now, so the fact that they just kind of break up like this in a backstage segment is pretty lame. I mean, the design haven't been doing much significantly lately, so it's kind of sad to see it end this way. Then we get another backstage segment with Maclin and the Rascals solidifying their partnership, and then they knock over Speedball Mike Bailey's thing? It gets it down. I've heard of dumber reasons to start a program or a feud, but this was really lame. And then nothing really happened. They didn't set up a match. They didn't attack each other. Speedball just kind of smiles. Then we get Decay versus Mila Moore and Savannah Thorne. And if you haven't heard of these ladies, that's okay, neither have I. It was basically a squash match to show how strong Decay still is. I'm gonna give it an up. We got one of those little picture-in-picture things to show that MK Ultra is watching backstage, and thankfully they didn't do that stupid WWE cheating to monitor thing. The match did have a few good spots, and the jobbers in question actually did do a little bit more than take a beating. It's basically to remind the crowd that Decay is still standing strong, and it did its job. It got good reactions, so hence the thumbs up. Then we get an interview with MK Ultra, but it's interrupted by Danny Luna and Jody Threat, and they make a match for later tonight. I'm also going to give this one a thumbs up. It progresses the story, it puts new people into play, and anything to show off the Knockouts tag division. Unfortunately, it's pretty small right now, but hey, the more we build it, the better it gets. Next up, we get the first episode of the Sound Check with Alan Angels and Josh Alexander, and I'm giving it a huge thumbs down. I like Alan Angels, I want him to do stuff, but this really didn't accomplish anything. Josh Alexander just gets kind of butthurt and leaves. That's it. Then we get Brian Myers versus Kevin Knight. This was a good match. I'm giving it a huge thumbs up. What sounds on paper kind of like a squash match was actually really competitive, and we got some awesome spots from Kevin Knight. That kid is going places. Can't wait to see his future, especially if he joins the X Division, you know what I mean? In the end, Myers picked up the victory, and it looks like the system was going to do a post-match beatdown, but Kushida ran in to make the save for his tag partner. And to be honest, I didn't know they were tag partners. That's on me. Maybe they're tag partners in New Japan or something, but now I know. Afterwards, we get a backstage interview with Chris Sabin, the current X Division champion, and he's actually interrupted by an ad from Mustafa Ali. Now, I loved Mustafa Ali when he was in 205 Live in WWE. He was one of my favorites, so I can't wait to see what he's going to do in TNA. And to be honest, the way it was interrupted was pretty clever. The backstage monitor actually changed to Mustafa Ali's ad. It was pretty creepy and pretty cool. However, all that is interrupted when the good hands show up hyping up Mustafa Ali and talk trash to Chris Sabin. Chris Sabin decides to make a match for next week Overall, I give the segment a thumbs up. It progresses the story and hypes up Mustafa Ali. Afterwards, we get the segment that we were waiting for and hyping up. Frankie Kazarian talks why he attacked Eric Young after his match 2 weeks ago. He gives a pretty good promo saying how he saved the company and he put this company on his back for the longest time, but they never really gave him his due. I thought the promo was pretty okay, but it got good reactions from the crowd, so what do I know? He quotes the Green Goblin, he quotes Troy, which I thought was pretty funny, and he ends the promo with, "You have permission to hate me now," which is actually a reference to his tag team catchphrase with Christopher Daniels back in the day. "You have permission to worship us now." Overall, I'm giving it a thumbs up. Then we get another backstage segment where the System is celebrating their victory, but Alex Shelley comes in, saying that he's going to challenge Moose for the title at No Surrender. Short but good, giving it a thumbs up. Alex Shelley stands up to Moose, but Moose just kind of blows him off, which is a great way for a heel champion to act. He thinks everyone's beneath him, even his #1 contender. We get another video package hyping up Ash by Elegance, the former Dana Brooke, and no rating. It was fine. Then Cody Deaner comes into the ring to do an in-ring segment about the design breaking up, which is more of what I wanted than just some short little backstage segment. He cuts this sad promo, but is interrupted by PCO. I'm giving that a huge thumbs up because anything with PCO is great. After PCO squashes Deaner, Khan shows up. It looks like he's trying to help Deaner, but then he attacks Deaner and PCO, and he's the one standing tall in the end. One thing TNA is really good at is making guys that people brush off into stars, and I can't wait to see what they do with Khan. We get a short backstage segment with AJ Francis and Rich Swann, which I'm just going to tell you right now, thumbs down. AJ Francis wants Rich Swann to join forces with him, and Rhino just blows both of them off. I give it a thumbs down because, I'll be honest with you, I don't like AJ Francis. It doesn't help that I don't know anything about him because when he was in WWE, that was long after I stopped watching WWE, so I have no idea what this dude's about, and I really don't care. Afterwards, we get a video package about Jordynne Grace being in the Women's Royal Rumble. No rating. Because I get it, yes, it's a big opportunity for Jordynne Grace and for TNA to be in the Royal Rumble. But I hate WWE, and I don't want to promote anything they do, so... But at the same time, this was a big boon for TNA Wrestling. So, afterwards, we get the match that was made earlier in the night, Masha Slamovich versus Jody Threat. This match was a little bit on the shorter side, but it's still pretty good. You can see that both women can go. Thumbs up. However, we end the post-match celebration because it turns out the System attacked Kushida backstage, pissing off Alex Shelley like nothing. Afterwards, we get the main event, the best of 3 series, Grizzled Young Vets versus the Ace and Bay Club, GYV versus ABC, and this was an awesome match. Competitive, big spots, back and forth. Seriously, it could have been anyone's match. In the end, the Grizzled Young Vets picked up the first victory. Huge thumbs up, match of the night. Now, unless I'm miscounting, that ends up to 10 ups, 4 downs. Good show. All the storylines are progressing moderately well, no major complaints, except for maybe the design breaking up. That was kind of meh, but at least we got to see Khan take down Deaner. That was a little bit more of what I was expecting. Macklin and the Rascals joining forces is not bad, but what was up with knocking over Speedball Mike Bailey's thing? It was just, he just kind of smiles and then nothing really happens. I guess more will happen next week, but overall that was just weird. Still, great matches, great wrestling, great storytelling. Love it. You can check out TNA Wrestling on AXS TV, or if you don't have AXS TV, you could do what I do. Go to YouTube and become a member. If you pay $1 a month, that's $1 a month, you can get their weekly show. But if you pay $5 a month, you can get their weekly show and the special event programs. It's really that easy. But if you want to watch TNA Impact Wrestling and all the old episodes of TNA Impact Wrestling, you could go to TNA Plus. Lowest tier is $10 a month, but if you want to go to the higher annual tiers, you can get all that and their pay-per-view events included. That's it for this episode, Wolfpack, and I'll see you next week.